I tried to really just be patient and like and honoring of like these people and like hearing their stories and understanding their stories and like and actually caring about the person in front of me
Yeah.
and not just caring
That's
about
good.
the end goal, you
Yeah.
know? And so like when I actually saw the person in front of me and asked them questions and cared about what
Yeah.
they were going through and the things that have happened in their life and things like that, like not only did it build a deeper connection and trust between the two of us, but it also allowed me to hear a part of their life and to know the ways to speak into them about the Lord
Yeah.
as well, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's like the same gospel presentation may not work as perfectly for everybody. What's up, guys? My name's Dane,
I'm Matthew.
and welcome back to the One Move Podcast.
For those who are asking, what is the One Move Podcast?
What is it?
That's a really good question. Basically, what the One Move Podcast is, the goal of it is really to just encourage Christians to fully step into what the Lord has for them.
Exactly.
Just to step out in obedience, because His plan is literally the best plan.
It's good.
And so, yeah, before we start talking about our topic, which this is probably my favorite topic.
This will be sick.
It's going to be different.
We're in a totally different spot.
Totally different location. Where are we at, Dan?
It's pretty cool. We're at my parents' office at my house. in
Pretty cool
Oklahoma.
office.
It's pretty great. We're on Thanksgiving
pretty cool.
break right now.
Yeah. Thanksgiving.
Bang.
Grateful for you guys.
That was so
Dang.
good. I'm thankful for you.
I'm thankful for you.
But yeah, it's been sick. So we're getting to hang out here. We're
Yeah.
getting to do it in this awesome space with these super big, nice couches. It's been awesome. So it's fun.
Yeah.
We're living the dream.
Feels different being on a separate couch.
I know we're not
It's
as
crazy.
close anymore. I'm like, I miss you. You're so far away. But yeah, there's that. There's this.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I broke my ankle on Sunday running
Yeah.
a marathon. But we got her
Yeah.
done. I finished it.
Bro was a beast. Ran the entire marathon on a broken ankle, which is
We did it though. We got her done.
insane.
By
What
the
would you
Lord's grace
say?
alone.
Yeah. What would you say your key takeaway or your main lesson you've learned after this marathon? Like, what would it be?
Yeah.
It's like an off the dome question. But
It is. Yeah, I think there's a couple. I think I think the idea that like I can truthfully just do so much more than I ever physically thought I could, you know? Like the human body is capable of so much more than you would actually think. Like never would I
Yeah, no,
thought
that's true.
I could have a completely shattered fibula and run a marathon.
yeah.
You
That was
can,
crazy.
which is shocking. But
Yeah.
that, and then also I think I learned a lot in just like the importance of having fantastic brotherhood and community around you. Like I had Matthew and a bunch of other guys that were
Yeah.
literally like running with me down the
It was-
marathon. One of my
awesome.
best buds, Sam, he face planted trying to run ibuprofen to me and like just got back up and kept going. And so it's been a blessing to see all those guys, and then also just like the complete reliance on the Lord's strength, I think too has been cool. It's like I literally could not have finished that race if it wasn't for the constant prayers of like, Lord, help me get through this next mile. Help me get through this next mile, you know?
Yeah.
And he just showed up every time. And so, yeah,
Yeah.
it's been great. But yeah,
It's awesome.
time, man. I feel
It was
accomplished.
fun to watch.
It was great. 4 months
crazy.
of training come to fruition. So it's sick. And now I'm on crutches for the next 6 weeks. So
Hey.
it'll be great.
It's all right. Proud of you, bro.
love it. But yeah,
Yeah. Killed it.
I
Anyways,
appreciate that.
before we start talking about our topic, we do have an opener,
What we
which
got?
it's Thanksgiving.
Bang.
And so what I thought would be cool is we just, both of us, maybe bounce off of each other. 3 things we're really, really grateful for just in this season of life.
Yeah.
And so I will start,
Okay.
and I will probably just say, this year I became more and more just aware of how much my family is there for me. And so I'm very grateful for them. I always have been, but there's been an extra emphasis on that this year.
W.
So,
Townsend family.
W. Townsend's. Yeah.
That's good. I think one of those big things for me this year has been kind of like I mentioned a second ago with friends. It's like I think I've just been in awe in this season, even this last weekend, just like how like just much my friends actually care for me, you know. And like I have a group of guys, Matthew included, and a bunch of other guys as well that would like I think would genuinely like go to war for me and take a bullet for me in a way that's like uncommon, you know.
Yeah.
And it really feels a lot like how the Lord wants brotherhood to look and to feel, you know. And so I think that I'm fully stepping into a season of realizing like just how valuable that is, and that means a lot to me for sure.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
W. Oh man, I was gonna say brotherhood too. I will say I am very grateful for ORU, the school we go to. I think sometimes it's easy to take for granted just the fact that we can go to school, and we can go to a school where not only is our like education prioritized, but like our relationship with the Lord is encouraged to it's just encouraged to just go as far as we can with that, you know? And I'm so grateful I have a school where I can go to a prayer tower every time I just need a couple minutes to just chill and like rest in his presence.
Right.
And chapels on Wednesdays and Fridays. It's
so big.
It's a blessing.
Yeah.
So I say that's my number 2.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Let's see. Since I'm home for Thanksgiving, I've remembered how thankful I am for my dog.
What one?
My boy Maverick. I have 2 dogs, but
Not the other one?
my favorite one is Maverick. Maverick is like a 95-pound, like great, or wait, no, not great. He's a golden doodle, 95-pound like golden doodle. He's sick.
He's one of my favorite dogs. He's a goat.
He's awesome. He's super cool. And then I have another one. His name's Barney. He's like a little black rat. Like he's really old and like he stinks and is blind and he's cool too.
Yeah.
But I'm really thankful for Maverick. Barney too, but like Maverick. Maverick's my guy.
Maverick's
he's like my spirit animal. So thankful for Maverick.
Fire.
Yeah.
My third one, I would say my third one is probably my church family back at home. So stinking grateful for just all the years they've poured into me. And it's been really cool to just see them like support me throughout everything. And again, I think sometimes we don't really realize like they're like literally like family. Yeah. So like that's how church is supposed to be. And so I'm very grateful that I've had like spiritual mothers and spiritual fathers just pour into me all my life, which has been really cool. So I'd say those are my 3.
That's awesome. My third, I think, probably my third would be something that I prayed for a lot, like last year and going into this year, was kind of a family in Tulsa, or like a group of like parents or mentors and people like that I can like really just like grow in relationship with in Tulsa, because I have amazing parents in where I'm from, in Lawton, Oklahoma, but I have nothing in Tulsa really. Like it's all just been like guys my age, which is sick. But I've wanted like kind of older people to like ask questions to and like seek community in and stuff like that. And like the Lord's really shown up in a big way that year with a family named the Ransdells, which has been really sick as well. It's been an amazing opportunity for me. They invite me over every Sunday to just come over after church and eat lunch and watch football and talk with them all. And it's been a big blessing, and it's helped me a lot this year. So that's been awesome too. So I think I'm very thankful for the Ransdells.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. W.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for lots of things.
Lots of things.
But yeah. With all of that being said, we get to step into a freaking awesome conversation today.
I'm excited.
It's gonna be so. We're talking about missions. Really, what we're going to do today is really just talk about like the trips that we've been on, and I know you're going on one this spring and stuff or this summer and stuff like that. So we're just going to talk about all of that and what the Lord says about missions and how He's shown up for us in missions and what He's done through us and all of these things. So
I'm excited. So I've been on 2 mission trips. I've been to Chicago, and I've been to the Dominican Republic.
Dang.
And you have been
Cuba.
Let's go. Yeah. How about you start us off? I guess we don't really have a format for this. It's kind of just sharing cool testimonies.
Yeah, 100%.
So whether that's just a crazy thing God's done or like a funny story or whatever. And so I guess if you want to start us off, what's a crazy story that happened in Cuba?
Yeah, man, Cuba was awesome. It was my first ever mission trip, first time really leaving the country, which was also a crazy thing. Just such a night and day difference. And like I applied for ORU missions last fall and got placed on Cuba. Wasn't expecting to go to Cuba at all. I actually thought like I was 99% certain I was going to India on missions last year. I was like, that's where I'm going. It's gonna be sick. And the Lord pulled the rug out from under me and was like, you're going to Cuba. And I was like, okay, let's do it. And I got placed on a fantastic team. Went to Cuba for 2 weeks and had an amazing time, man. Kind of like the way our ministry worked while we were there is we were partnered with a church, which was awesome, and kind of what we did while we were there for like 4 days while we were there, we teamed up with and led a youth camp. Youth in Cuba is, I'm trying to remember the exact age. I think it was 12 to 35 was the was the age of youths that we were leading in Cuba.
Whoa,
which was crazy to me.
5-year-old youth is crazy.
It was nuts.
Yeah,
but man, it was a great time, and so we got to go and lead one of those, which was awesome. We all got to lead worship and share testimonies and preach and do all these things, which was awesome. But we got to lead that, which was awesome. And then so that was like one part of the trip. Another part of the trip was we walked around the province of Cuba that we were in, and we went like door to door evangelizing, so knocking on people's doors, praying for healing for them, interceding for them, inviting them to church, telling them about the gospel, because a ton of people had never heard the gospel, which coming from America is a very like culturally shocking thing for me. You know, it's like I've never really been around people in my life who haven't heard of Jesus. And so stepping into somewhere where that wasn't the case was crazy. And yeah, so we did that, and then we'd invite the people that we like prayed for healing for, converted, and things like that, and we'd invite them to like our small groups for that night. They called them pockets, and so like throughout the city, they had like in each neighborhood they had like a house that they'd do a service at like once a week at like all these different places. So like the people in that community could come instead of having to travel a long ways to church, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I went and led one of those with one of the other girls on my team. Her name was Bella. And we went and led that together, which was great. Did worship, and then I preached a sermon, which was really, really cool. My first ever message in a different language. So she stood there and translated for me the whole time, which she did a fantastic job of. It was crazy. But it was great, dude. And my lady like ended up giving her life to the Lord at the end of it, which was so cool.
Yeah.
Such a cool experience.
I remember you calling me and telling me that.
It was sick, bro. It was so much fun. And then we did that for really like a week, and then the last week we were there, we went out to these like remote villages in Cuba, like out in like the middle of nowhere. Like these places are like dirt floors, like holes in their roof. They had like one bed, family of 5. Like it was rough stuff, you know. And it was just so cool because we would go and like we'd walk through this entire neighborhood, this entire like village, and like tell everybody about Jesus, and then they'd all come to like the night service that night. Yeah. And it was just so cool, and like just entire families and stuff like that. It was awesome, and just like it was so cool because I think like one of the things the Lord like showed me so much was like he checked my heart a lot on what like genuine joy of the Lord is, you know, because it's like I'm looking at all these people's circumstances, and I'm like, dude, if I was in this exact same circumstance, like would I even have joy, you know, or is a portion of my joy based in what I have on this earth, you know? And these people are just so happy like that you even are there to talk to them, you know, and just like at the name of Jesus, they just light up, you know. And I'm like, I want to be as filled with the joy of the Lord, the authentic joy of the Lord as you are. You know? So that was a really cool thing. I think another one of the lessons that the Lord put in me really heavy was like this idea, the Lord was really preaching into me, this idea of like my own self-reliance that I carried into missions, you know, and that I'd carried before that outside of the mission field as well. But just like this kind of idea of like self-reliance, like I can do it all on my own. I don't want to be a burden to people. I can do it, you know?
Yeah, right.
And like the Lord just tore that down so heavy, even from like the practical standpoint of like I needed a translator everywhere I went to talk to anybody. It's like I was completely ineffective in ministry without a translator, which just already spoke to the fact that I couldn't do it on my own, you know? Yeah. And like as I was in my quiet time on our first day of missions, I read over the story where Moses is like holding the staff above his head while the Israelites are in war. Yeah. Israelites, yeah. I know I'm not tripping. What am I talking about? But he's holding the staff above his head, and like when his staff is up, they're winning, and when his arms drop because he's tired, they start to lose, right? Yeah. And so he has his arms up, and then eventually, as it starts to waver, two guys come and hold each side of his staff above his head with him, so that he can hold it up, you know. Yeah. And it was just this idea that the Lord painted for me from like the very beginning of missions, like you can't do this on your own at all, you know, like you literally need other people. You need me, and you need other people in this season, you know. Yeah. And it's actually it's actually wrong for you to try to do it all on your own, you know? So that was a really cool lesson the Lord preached into me. It was really cool though, man. I think I was shocked by how much, like, I was expecting to go and to serve and to do all of these things. And like, I left, like, the Lord did such a number in me as well, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't think I was necessarily expecting that as much. So it was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say, as I was hearing you talking, I think something people really, really struggle with is like door-to-door evangelism and like going out and actually doing that. And I guess I just want to ask you, like, when you first started doing that, was that something you did before? Like, was that something you were doing regularly before going on the mission trip? And whenever the first time you did it,
right,
like, what were your thoughts? How were you feeling going into it? And like, because it's a scary thing.
Sure.
And so I guess just what was it like before and what was the outcome?
Yeah.
Which I think we know the outcome, but
sure.
Just, if you want to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's totally true. I mean, talking to people in general about Jesus can be a really scary thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's like whether it's you're knocking on somebody's door or striking up a conversation in a Walmart, you know, it's like I think it's nerve-wracking either way.
Yeah.
So, there's that. It's not necessarily just door-to-door evangelism that can be scary to people.
Yeah,
you know,
just evangelism in general.
Evangelism in general,
specifically with this. Yeah.
And so I think it's something that is, I mean, I think it's overcome in a lot of ways just by repetition. You know, it's like the more and more you do something, the more and more comfortable you become. But I think also too, just the kind of mindset shift that I had that helped me so much was that it's like we view evangelism and like talking to people about Jesus as this like massive, like any conversation is like here, and then like bringing Jesus into it like takes the conversation to like cloud 9. It's like this like massive escalation of things, and it's like the way I had it explained to me. I think it was Nate Sink. It might have been somebody else. I don't remember, but they said something along the lines of like, Nate Sink's a dog, but he said something along the lines of like, you talk about like football and like you talk about OU Sooners and the Dallas Cowboys and all these things that you love, like whenever you want, like you talk to anybody about that, you know, but like, and that's just because you love that thing. So like, so since you love Jesus so much, why is it not the same way? You know, it's like, it's literally just, it's talking about something you're passionate about, you know? And so it's like, if you love gaming in the same way that you love gaming, you love Jesus. And so it should be the same. It should be the same way, you know? And so it's like, I think that kind of made it a less big deal in my mind because it was like, this isn't some like massive thing that's like, oh, so scary. It's like, I'm just talking about something I love, you know?
Right.
And that takes the edge off, like makes it easy, you know?
Yeah.
So it was that, for me. And then, but I mean, it was definitely nerve-wracking, man. I think the other biggest thing for me that I think helped me a lot in doing it and not just doing it, like not just doing the action, but like having success in it was in my door-to-door evangelism in Cuba was making it not like a task that I tried very hard to make people to not in my mind or externally make people feel like a job, like a task
number.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, because the small talk at the beginning of the conversation, I didn't want that to feel like, okay, like rushed, like I'm just trying to, that's sick, like your life's great, thank you for telling me about that, but can I tell you about Jesus now, you know?
Right.
And it's like, I tried to really just be patient and like and honoring of like these people and like hearing their stories and understanding their stories and like and actually caring about the person in front of me and not just caring about the end goal, you know? And so like when I actually saw the person in front of me and asked them questions and cared about what they were going through and the things that have happened in their life and things like that, like not only did it build a deeper connection and trust between the two of us, but it also allowed me to hear a part of their life and to know the ways to speak into them about the Lord as well, you know? Because it's like the same gospel presentation may not work as perfectly for everybody, you know? It's like if one girl, if I'm sitting across from a girl who's telling me her life story and she ends up telling me that like her father abused her and abandoned her, you know, when she was 9, right? It's like the way that I might talk to her about the Lord is like how Jesus actually wants to come in and be a loving and caring father for you, right? And it's like, that's a wound that she has and Jesus wants to come in and heal that wound, right? Versus just like versus if I hadn't let her talk and hadn't actually heard her and saw her as a person, I could have just jumped that gun, never heard that, and missed the opportunity to explain to her like, this is how Jesus is a father to you and wants to show up as a father for you.
That's good. During my internship in the summer, have you heard of like Every Heart Tours, NBL Worship?
Yeah.
Maybe. Really cool group in Michigan. They travel out and they just preach the gospel. It's a little tour they do in the summer. And they came to my church and they gave this little like gospel, how to preach the gospel 101 little demonstration. I was like, this is actually really fire. Even though I've done it before, it's really useful.
Yeah.
So I want to share it because I think it's really fire. And so basically what they did was they broke down sharing the gospel, which I think that's probably sometimes the scariest part is like, I don't know if I'll say all the right things or like, the reality is truthfully, if you have a relationship with Jesus, you're not going to get it wrong.
Right.
And so there's that, but also what they gave us was actually really helpful because they gave us like the 5 main things you should try to say when you're preaching the gospel. And so the first one was the thumb, which think of a thumb of like a gardener's thumb type of situation. Does that make sense? In the beginning, like God created everything, right? Everything was good. Everything was perfect.
Right.
That's finger number 1, right? And then next is like the pointer finger. And so think of like pointer finger, like, no, like you did something bad.
Oh, no.
And that kind of just represents when Adam and Eve came, the serpent came, they ate the apple, sin now entered the world.
Right.
Bad things happen now. Fast forward to the middle finger. They're like, obviously, you don't just stick up the middle finger. But think of it like this. Bad finger, bad place. Now because of like what Adam and Eve did, they ate the apple, sin entered the world. Now hell is a really real thing. So anybody who does not know Jesus is now going there. And I also think that's really important that we realize as we're going and preaching the gospels, like these people actually need hope. They're hellbound without Jesus. 100%. And like that's urgent, you know? And we should be walking around with that urgency, you know? And so those are the first 3. And then the ring finger, which think about like just a marriage. Like Jesus came, wants a relationship with us. We're his bride. Now anybody who wants to can be saved. And then finally, which is the pinky finger, think of like the pinky promise, the Holy Spirit. Now we all have relationship with the Father. So
tough.
Creation, sin, hell, Jesus, Holy Spirit, relationship. Those are my 5. Bang. That's
fire.
But I low-key use it sometimes because I'm like, it's actually a nice little format. So maybe one of y'all will use it. But it's cool.
I also think too, like that's fantastic. And I think the idea too of like, just like people put so much pressure on themselves, like when they preach the gospel or when they're talking to somebody about Jesus or evangelizing in any sense, people so often put the pressure on themselves to be like,
you're not the one saving them.
Right. You're not the one saving them. And also nobody's expecting you to walk around and be Bryce Crawford or freaking Oral Roberts or any of these, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like nobody's expecting you to be like the best evangelist to ever walk the face of the earth. You know, it's like all the Lord is wanting from you is your obedience, you know, and your yes to fulfill the Great Commission and do what he's called you to do, you know?
The Holy Spirit is literally the one that's guiding you.
Exactly.
And so it's not even your words when you're going up and you're preaching the gospel.
Exactly.
You know? Which that's like an amazing thing to think about because like, whoa, I actually am not the greatest speaker without the Lord.
Right.
You know? Right. And it's because of him.
Which is what Moses
we can
said.
Effectively.
Right.
Yeah.
All you have to do is say yes.
Yeah.
That's all he wants.
But yeah, bro.
Dude, tell me about your mission trips. Let them rip. Do Chicago first.
Yeah. Okay. So they were very, very different.
Okay.
I liked Chicago more.
Really?
And I'll kind of explain why in a minute.
Yeah.
But so I was 17 going to Chicago. First mission trip ever. First COVID kind of shut down like our missions teams for a little bit. And so this was the first time we were able to actually go back on the mission field. And so I was like, I finally get to go. I was in middle school when they were doing them before and like I could never go because I was too young.
Right.
Super excited, went. And I think for me, like one of my biggest takeaways during that trip was just how broken the world is. You go to Chicago, it's not a pretty place whatsoever. Like the people there are just really, really struggling. We literally were sleeping in a place where you could hear like gunshots outside.
Wow.
And so it was really, it was not the safest place to be probably.
Right.
A lot of the ministry we were doing was a lot of like working with like refugee people, giving them food, all of those things, helping with this. There was like this old factory that they turned into like a church. I forget what it was called.
That's sick.
But we spent a day like organizing the basement down there, which was like filled with just supplies that they give all the people who need food too. And so that was really cool. Lots of stuff like that. Working with homeless people, cleaning things, moving stuff around, which I like those things. I'd never done stuff like that before, so I like that. My favorite thing probably was like just literally going and preaching the gospel to people.
Right.
We first day I was put with like the evangelism group, and I was like, crap, I'm a little nervous. Like I've talked to people before. I've never really went up and just like preached the gospel.
Right.
So we did it, got really good at it. That's kind of what our main ministry was. There was a specific night though, we went like underneath the bridge in Chicago, which that was probably like the worst place. They always talk about how bad it is down there. Tons of homeless people, lots of tents. You can't go by yourself because the chances of you getting thrown into a tent and like someone injecting you with needles or whatever, like it's high. And so we go, and as you're going down, you literally could feel just like how dark it is. Like it was like a sense of just like straight up darkness. Yeah. The other van was preaching to a guy, and he like completely overdosed. They were praying over him. God literally like sobered him up, which was so crazy.
No way.
And like they were able to like preach to him, and like that was such a cool thing. That's on awesome. Their end. We just encountered a lot of people like that. There was one guy I went and I preached like the gospel to, really just asked for prayer. I think a lot of the times it's like, hey, can I pray for you? And then depending on their answers, like, well, do you have a relationship with Jesus? And then you can kind of take it from there. But there's this one guy, and this wasn't even a crazy story. Like what happened wasn't that crazy, but it just opened my eyes to a lot. And so we get down, this guy has not talked to anybody who's ever tried to come down to him. The Chicago Dream Center, which is like the people I went with, they're really good at like reaching everybody. We go out, we ask if he needs prayer, and I already kind of know like I'm probably the one that should be talking to this guy. I don't know why. I'm like, this might be something. They're like, hey, what's your name? And he kind of like just mumbles. He's like, Blaine. And I was like, no way, that's my middle name. That's kind of crazy. All of a sudden, like there was just like a shift in like his countenance, and he actually started like paying attention to what we had to say. Long story short, he was kind of demon possessed. Like he was talking in like we, they, like crazy. It's like, holy crap. And nothing crazy happened in that moment, but I did get to pray over him. And that was, I guess, kind of like literally what I was saying. I didn't really realize how dark like the world is. Right. And like that stuff is real. And I think sometimes in America it's really desensitized. Looking back, I really just wish I just rebuked the demon out of the guy. I didn't get to do that, but it was cool because everybody after was like, he's never talked to anybody and he's never received prayer. And so that alone to me was a big deal. And I think I also want to encourage people just with like going on missions or whatever. Majority of what we're doing is going to be planting seeds, and it's really rare that you actually see the outcome of it. And so don't be discouraged if most of your work is planting seeds. You never know. The next person that they talk to might be the one who's able to lead them to the Lord. 100%. And so get used to seed planting. It's a lot of what we're doing, you know. It was cool because I was really praying that I would see someone get saved by the end of that trip. And literally the last guy I talked to, his name was Corn. He was this guy at a homeless shelter. I was actually able to lead him to Jesus, which that was like the first time I've ever been able to lead someone to Jesus. Super cool. I loved that trip. It was awesome. Also, this is a crazy story. I know I'm kind of yapping.
You're good.
But we were passing out like hot dogs in this park, and we're going out, we're like just finding everybody, like anybody we can, like you want a hot dog, like here, there, everywhere.
Hot dog.
And then like, can we pray for you? That was usually like, if you want to reach people, a really good way to do that is like bring food. Right. Yeah. And our team like literally ran out of hot dogs. And there was this girl on our team, her name's Alina. And there was like another person that was coming up to get a hot dog. And you can believe the story, you don't have to, but like they were completely out of hot dogs. They had no more food. And like she happened to like look in her pocket and like there was a hot dog there. And so You could believe. You don't have to. All I'm saying is Jesus multiplied in the Bible, and we fully believe like he did that on the trip. You don't have to. I don't know, bro. Hey, how did Jesus make the 5,000? Where did it come from? But yeah, so that was Chicago in a nutshell. I think, yeah, yeah.
That's sick.
God could do crazy things.
That's sick.
I love that trip. That was probably my favorite trip I've been on so far. I think it's just because I have a heart for people like that, and I have a heart for like just anybody who like needs Jesus. But I think my main ministry is gonna be something with that at some point.
That's sick.
And so that was awesome. As for Dominican Republic was very similar to like what you were saying actually. Like I was very challenged by like just the way they're so joyful.
Yeah.
We came and we were.
How old were you in the DR?
18.
Okay.
And so we go, and it's really easy to like not be in a great mood when you're in like over 100-degree weather. Everybody's hot, everybody's sweating. All these kids want to like get on your back and like race. At some point you're just done. Your water bottle's empty and you're kind of cooked. Like it was so challenging seeing literally all of them. It's like they get literally barely any food. They're used to not getting a lot of water, and their faces literally like just light up. Like you could literally tell that the joy of the Lord is on them. So that was probably my biggest challenge. Like I hope like I eventually learn to be like that. Right. You know, I want somebody to look at me and be like, hey, he really loves Jesus. Even like one of our big mission spots was we were at this orphanage, and we did a lot of work there, and then we also got to hang out with a lot of the kids. And 2 stories from there. First one was just seeing them. They got like all these gifts at the end from like their donors, and they were like Happy Meal toys. And I was so convicted because I was like, I know me at that age, like 9, 10, 11.
Right.
I probably would have not been happy
right.
getting a gift like that for Christmas or for my birthday or whatever. And so that really challenged me to be like, dude, you're so blessed and God's given you so much. And also don't be stingy with what you have. You know, like if you have the extra money, like give it to people, you know, you don't need it. And so that was really cool. There was this one kid in that orphanage. Our last day, we took them all to the beach, and we were each assigned like a kid. So I was given this one kid. I've never really talked to him the entire trip. I've talked to like lots of other kids. They just gave me one I'd never talked to.
Okay.
I was like, sick, we're gonna have fun, bud. It's gonna be really awesome. Obviously I don't speak their language, so I couldn't connect with him like that. And it was probably like one of the most challenging things I've ever. He tried to run away from me. Like four or 5 times. It was crazy. I'd like be in the water and I'd be like, shoot, where'd he go? This is a big public beach. I'm like, if he got napped or something, I'm so cooked. Dominican police are gonna be on me. I'm not gonna be able to get back to America. It's scary. And so I was stressing, and I kept having to go to like the team leader. I'm like, I can't find him. Like, he's gone again. Like, I'm so sorry. I'm trying. And I just didn't think he liked me. I'd be like, hey buddy, come over here. And he'd just look at me and like be like, I was like, okay, bro, just at least like stay in my proximity so I don't lose you. How terrible would it be, 18 years old, I lost a kid. Like, it's part of my story. Like, that's insane. And so that happens, we drive him back. And at this point, I'm like, I'm ready to get out of here. I'm ready to get rid of this kid. Like, I'm ready to send him back home and just call it a day, be done. Again, it was a lot of, I did go out of my way to like try to hang out with him. It wasn't like I wasn't enjoying it.
Right.
It was like, giving me a hard time. And I was like, this has been a challenge. And he comes back and his mood is so different. Like, it went from being like, kind of like just being like a punk to like, he was really sad. And like, I was like, why are you sad, bro? Like, what's like, you
what's
know?
wrong with you?
And like the translators were talking to him. I'm like, what's up? Like, is he okay? Like, did I do something? Like, I don't know. And they were like, he wants you to be your brother. Or like, he wants you to be his brother. I was like, shoot. Like, that just like kind of wrecked me. I was like, bro. And I literally didn't seem like he wanted to do anything with me, you know? And yeah, dude, that just kind of, that moved me a little bit. And so to encourage people, even with just like doing stuff like that, like ministry with kids and all that, like chances are they might reject you, but what you're doing, again, like planting seeds, you're impacting them. And I didn't know until after. And so I was like, dang, little bro, like, I love you too. But
that's sick.
That meant a lot. The trip was really good. Lots of preaching the gospel, lots of just kids ministry.
Right.
Was in a skit that stretched me. I was in like a dance, like a dance. That was weird. I've never done something like that before.
I did one of those too. It was so hard.
It was hard.
That's
I didn't know.
Outside of my comfort zone.
Yeah, I had to like.
It's like
it was
my worst
bad.
nightmare.
It was a
I
nightmare.
had to sing in a choir too, and I don't sing, bro.
But I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the opportunity. And then I would say another big, and this is probably my last takeaway, and then we could talk about like anything, like fun stories, funny stories, whatever. I'm just trying to share the big ones. We ended up going to like this little like safe house where all of these like just, they were rescued girls from like human trafficking. Like,
wow.
We went there, and that again was just like another like big like eye-opening moment.
Right.
Like I was sitting with these girls who were, and again, I'm sitting with girls who were like 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, younger than me and then my age. And like they have kids and they're pregnant, and it was heavy. I was like, dude, like, and again, they were people who were so filled with the joy of the Lord. And even just hearing their testimonies, they're like God is so good, and he rescued me from all of that. And it challenged me so much, and it stirred me so much. And I do think at some point, I don't know if I've ever told you that, like at some point I want to be involved in something like that helps with that whole issue, because it's a big issue and it's not talked about a lot. Ended up getting like a little bracelet from them, because like they make, like that's how they make their money. They make bracelets and stuff.
Wow.
And yeah, that was probably just the overall theme from that entire trip, was like, these people have nothing. These people have every excuse to be like God wasn't there for me. And they choose to love him, and they choose to say he's good. And that challenged me a lot, bro.
Yeah.
And so those are some overviews of just those trips. I love them so much, and I can't wait. Can't wait to do it again.
Yeah.
So
speaking of,
yeah.
Where are you going?
Yeah,
this summer, bro.
I get to co-lead a trip to Brazil.
Tell us about
which
it,
is
dude. That's freaking
insane.
It's
know.
a pioneer trip.
It is a pioneer trip,
dude.
Which that's crazy too. They were talking about that on missions retreat of like we're literally making history and stuff, and like
so cool.
It's really cool.
So cool.
Yeah, honestly,
I
can't really say much because I don't know. Like, I know things we're doing. I know we're like going to be working in a church a lot. I know we're doing youth ministry, hospital ministry. I know we're going to be in Sao Paulo the entire time, or the most part.
Where's that at? Is that where like the Jesus statue is?
No, that's Rio.
I knew that.
I like that movie. I used to have a crush on the blue girl bird. Fun fact.
She was pretty, bro. It's not crazy
to
say that.
Hot take. Not anymore. Not anymore. But yeah, I think it's close. It's close by. Okay. We might go there at some point. Yeah, don't know many of the details. All I know is like I was gonna do missions this year. I was really stoked. I'm like gonna do it.
Yeah.
And at last minute, I felt like God was like, you should apply for leadership, which usually if you're doing an ORU leadership, you're going as a missions leader. You've done ORU missions before.
Right.
And I've been on mission trips. I just haven't been with ORU.
Right.
And so I already was kind of feeling like I shouldn't do this. Like there's other people that would probably be a lot better than me.
Right.
I don't know. I kind of dropped it. I was kind of like, all right, I'm not going to do it. And then Levi Church texted me out of nowhere. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to wing it. I'm going to do it out of obedience. And if I don't get it, that's completely okay.
Right.
And if I do, I'm also going to be really excited.
Right.
And so I go in, I have an interview. I think the interview's good, but I'm also like, yeah, I'm probably not getting it. Like, cool.
Right.
Cool thing, you know? And yeah, I find out I got it. And it's been, truthfully, that's probably the most, like, I'm most excited about that. Like, going into this next year, that's probably my number one thing.
Yeah.
Just because it was so not on my radar. And we've had, like I'm a chaplain, we've had the podcast, and all these things have been really awesome.
Yeah. But
this was, like, just kind of like a surprise from the Lord, you know?
That's
so it's cool, dude. It's an honor being in the room with the guys that are leading it. It's kind of like, whoa, like, you actually trust me, God. That's insane. And so
cool.
I am really excited. It's going to be fun. If y'all want to be praying for that,
do it.
Pray for it. Pray for Brazil ministry trip 26. And so I have a sister on my team.
He's
which
leading
is
my
actually
sister.
Really
So
sick.
cool.
That's cool.
My sister's first ever mission trip.
Yeah.
Matthew's going to be leading it. Such a blessing.
Yeah.
That'll be so sick.
It's going to be dope.
She's stoked about it. She's so excited.
It's cool. We
She
have a
can't
sick
wait.
roster. My co-lead Grace is super awesome. It's going to be cool. It's
Yeah.
going to be cool, bro. I have a question.
What you got?
You got any funny or like just crazy stories from the mission trip you went on?
Let's see. So there's a couple. So one stayed in so the house we stayed at, like Cuba has really like rolling power outages, and so there would only be power for like an hour a day, and it was always when we were out. Like it was like when we were out doing mission work.
Okay.
So we weren't at the house.
Yeah.
And so like we never had like electricity or anything, AC or anything like that. So it was like
Yeah.
it was like
Were you allowed to drink the water?
no.
Okay.
No. The water, but it was like 100 degrees inside, so it was really funny like sleeping like in, because it was me and we had 2 other guys on our team, and so we all had a room. Like the AC would kick on in the middle of the night. It kicked on like one night in the middle of the night, and we like all like stood up in our beds like in the pitch black, or no, because the lights came on too, because electricity came on in the middle of the night, and it was like the first time it had happened. And we like stood up on our beds in like the bright daylight after just getting woken up, and we were like celebrating, like yes,
Let's go.
it's not 100 degrees anymore.
Yeah.
Which
Praise
was
God.
fire. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was funny. There was one night, a whole bunch of the girls, like we had our team debrief, and we had like 3 guys on our team, like 10 girls. And so like we were walking the girls back to their rooms, and like there was a fat tarantula. Like I'm talking like
way.
Matthew's head type beat. like that sucker was huge. No, not that your head is huge, but like
I didn't take it that way.
It was big for a tarantula.
Thanks.
Anyway,
Great comparison.
it was massive, and it was on the ground, like right in front of their door, and we're like, all the girls are like freaking out, and we like get a broom and we're like trying to scoot it out of the way, and this thing like climbs
Sweeping
up.
the tarantula.
This thing like climbs up on the wall, and like it looked so heavy that like I didn't think it could climb up the wall, but it just like shot up the thing and then on the roof, and we're like trying to brush it with the broom, and we like
No
get it with
way.
the broom and then throw it away, but it was the craziest thing ever, dude, and it was freaking fat.
Yeah.
And it was so nasty. It was huge,
terrible.
bro. I hate spiders. And like my
Yeah.
worst nightmare is like the spiders that are like, they're like moms and they have like all the babies in their back.
Yeah.
My worst nightmare is like killing one of those things and then like the
Babies
going,
popping out. That's crazy.
Like I was shook.
Sleeping in there.
I was
Yeah.
worried about that, but it was funny as heck. And then on one of our last day there, we had like a rest day, like packing and
Yeah.
resting, all that stuff. And so we went to the ocean, and like I'm running around because I'm like, it's only 30 minutes out here. Like I'm not gonna get sunburns or anything like that. And this is like the clearest water I've ever seen in my life. It was crazy. But I'm like out there like running around in the sand, and like we're only allowed to get like shin deep in the ocean, but like we're shin deep and like all this stuff, and like 30 minutes went by and we walked back, and like I was so red. Like it was like
No way.
it was like this. Like that's what I looked like underneath my cut off tank top. It was horrible.
Bro.
And it was like blistering for like weeks and stuff. It was nasty, bro. And
Yep.
nobody warned. None of the girls who had like been to the ocean before warned me that like you have to put sunscreen on. And so I was just thumbing it
do.
out without it, and I was cooked. Those were some of the funny stories. We walked around with we rode around in this like old Volkswagen van.
Yeah.
It looked exactly like the thing from Outer Banks, like the old Volkswagen van that they all whip around in.
Oh, really?
That's what
cool.
we drove around in all week. It was so cool.
Fire.
It was awesome. Yeah. But what about you?
Yeah. So fun fact about me, whenever I'm on a mission trip, I usually have a series of like just unfortunate events that happen.
Okay.
Like everybody who's been on the mission trip knows, like I just have things that just shouldn't happen on the mission trip, and I can laugh about it because it's like funny. It's funny stories to tell, but they're not funny in the moment. The first one, so I've never been on an airplane before
No way.
this, and I don't really know how like airplane bathrooms work.
Oh no.
And so I lock the door, and like I really don't know how to get out of the bathroom. Like I don't know how to open the door. And it like it was scary, bro. The lights went off. They were like starting to like
Descend.
go down. I'm like, what is happening? Couldn't get out. I like tried banging on the door, no one could help me. and it just said like it said like remain silent on like the red, like it was a red sign.
I said remain seated.
Or remain seated, and so that's it was exactly that. I'm like, okay, so do I just just pull my pants back down and sit? I'm like, is this how it's supposed to go?
You pulled your pants
I'm
out.
like texting my youth leader like urgently. I'm like, please, like help me get out of here. Like I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't even know if I'm supposed to be on the toilet right now. Everyone's like, it's going down, and I eventually like. First of all, my youth leader couldn't even see the text because
you were in the
airplane mode, and so I eventually noticed there's like a little like lever. I'm like, oh, and so
that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it was bad, but I was in there for a hot minute, like just freaking out. Like I was like, I've never done this before. I don't even know if I'm gonna make it. Like
that's hilarious.
Bad. Second one, this one's crazy. So whenever I swim, I get really bad foot cramps.
Me too.
And like my foot will
worst.
literally like my foot's like this,
and it
curls like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, crap, it's bad.
It's like right here.
Yeah,
those are the worst, bro.
And so what I do usually is like I'll go to the side of a pool and I'll like stretch out my foot,
right?
Which is like what one I think does when you have foot cramps. And so I'm in this Dominican Republic pool. I get one of these, and it's like I get them bad to where like I can't really swim. And so I go to like on the side to like lay out my foot, and this is like the most insane story. There's like this Dominican like conga line going around like the rim of the pool.
In the pool?
Yeah, like going all the way around, and they swoop me away. I literally felt like I was drowning, and there's like tons of just Dominicans like singing and like partying all around me, like going around, and I'm just like gasping for air. I'm like, help me, somebody. And like it was bad. I was scared. Joy 3 could testify to this. That was the other girl who was like just watching me just suffer, and she was just laughing at me, and I was like, this is not, I had tears in my eyes. It's like, this hurts. I can't keep afloat for much longer. They're like singing.
Oh,
like it was crazy.
That is so funny.
And so those are my two.
Funny story, dude. I'm crying because it's so funny. But drowned.
But yeah.
So as you're
transition
heading into this next season of leading a mission trip and going on mission again, what do you think is like your one move that you're taking into that season?
I think literally just, I guess my one move would be like just literally stepping in with like radical faith.
Yeah.
I think there's two big things on my heart. One is like before miracles, before anything, I really want people to just see Jesus. And I think with Brazil, a lot of people come for healing and they come for signs and wonders. But I don't know how many actually, and this is just based off the conversations I've had with people who are from Brazil or have been on the trip.
Yeah.
Like there's a lack of like they actually know Jesus. And so that's first, but also for me to challenge me. It's like something I've really been challenged by is like you think of in the Bible. I'll read a verse too really quick, but you know how in Acts it's like Peter's shadow literally healed people. And it's like that man, like his faith was so huge. And so I really just want to go into this with like just radical faith of like, I don't know what God's going to do, but I know that he can heal like people who have diseases. I know that he can literally raise people from the dead. This isn't just the God of like the Bible. He's alive and active today.
Right.
And so, and I mean, like if you go to the end of Mark, and I want to read just this little section, it's literally the kind of the Great Commission, which we all know is like go and make disciples of all nations, which is amazing. And that's what we should be doing. But also it goes on to say, and these signs will accompany those who believe. In my name, they will cast out demons. They will speak in new tongues. They will pick up serpents with their hands. They will drink deadly poison. It will not hurt them. And they'll lay their hands on the sick and they'll recover. So like that's part of the Great Commission. It's like we actually should be seeing miracles on a daily because that's just what Christ calls us to. And we saw it back then. And I really want to get to a point where I'm known as a guy that like people just see that, and not because I want any like power or anything. That's just what should be normal. And so I would say my one move is just step out and fully have just radical faith because God can do it. I don't know if that makes sense.
I think for me, it's just, I think one of my biggest ones is just kind of this idea of like, just, I guess a blind yes would kind of be my, in the same way that yours is like radical faith, I think mine would be like radical trust in the sense that like, even in the areas that I feel like I can't do this, or I'm not able to do this, I'm not ready, I'm not equipped, any of these things, it's a radical trust, like, and just radical obedience that, like, the Lord, I'm going to do it because the Lord's telling me to, and I'm going to trust that he's going to show up in the way that he needs to make it work.
Yeah.
You know, I think that was one of the biggest things in Cuba for me, was like just this idea that, like,
That's good.
the things I felt unqualified for, it's like I just stepped in and did them anyways, because that's what the Lord had called me to do in that season, and he showed up every single time, you know, and gave me everything I needed in the moment to handle the situation and to do his will. And so in the same way that Moses went and talked to Pharaoh, even though he felt unqualified, and David slayed Goliath, even though he was just a little shepherd boy, and all of these things, all these people are unequipped. But, like, the Lord gave them the strength and what they needed in the moment to do it, you know? So I think just faith that, like, if the Lord's done that this whole time, he's going to do it again, you know?
And he can.
Is huge. And he will, you know? He can and he will. So
He will.
I think that would be it for me.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Fire.
Dude, what a conversation.
What an episode.
Missions are so fun.
Yeah.
Missions are so fun. But yeah, guys, with all of that being said, we love you guys. We're thankful for you. And yeah, follow us on Instagram, TikTok,
Instagram.
Bang.
If you
YouTube.
like this episode, whatever you're listening to, like Spotify, Apple, YouTube, subscribe.
But with all that being said, we love you guys.
Yeah.
You guys have
Love
an
y'all.
amazing week.
Yeah.
We'll see you in 2 weeks. It'll be great. All right. We'll talk to you later.